the Red River Showdown.
Best rivalry game in college football.
At the State Fair of Texas.
It takes the cake.
It doesn't get better than OU Texas in the Cotton Bowl.
It's something I always dreamed of playing in.
The 6th-ranked Sooners are trying to earn their way to the college football playoff for the 3rd straight season. The 11th-ranked Longhorns are still looking for their first trip. Today's game will get one of these teams a big step closer and earn bragging rights too.
If you lose, they're going to get on you for the rest of the whole year.
When you make play in this game, you can be remembered forever.
Not much on the line, but a little immortality. And a golden hat. You're watching Fox 23's Countdown to Kickoff, OU Texas, live from Dallas. Welcome to Dallas and welcome inside the Cotton Bowl, where the 115th edition of the Red River Showdown will kick off in about an hour and a half. And just outside the Cotton Bowl, the State Fair of Texas. Fun rides, lots of food that mostly isn't good for your arteries. It adds up to arguably the best atmosphere for a game in college football, and we are joining you from right in the middle of that atmosphere. I'm Nathan Thompson. He's Ron Terrell. We're at the State Fair of Texas. Right behind us is the Cotton Bowl. Doesn't get any better than this.
No, not if you're a college football fan. It is absolutely electric out here right now. And what a great matchup, too. You've got 2 ranked teams, 2 great quarterbacks. All of it starts at 11 right here on Fox 23.
Oh, it's going to be good. And, of course, OU and Texas are 2 of the blue bloods in Big 12. And, of course, 2 of the tops in college football. OU and Texas are in a group of only 6 programs in the country with at least 900 wins, as recognized by the NCAA. Just another reason why this rivalry is so good. It's also decidedly not one of those mutual admiration rivalries. These fan bases do not like each other. Texas head coach Tom Herman has a story about his first Red River Showdown, riding through the stadium on a bus through the crowd, and it sums up this rivalry perfectly.
Looking out the window and literally seeing this elderly lady, had to have been at least 80 years old, going double bird to the Texas bus, and then literally next to her was this, like, couldn't have been more than 8-year-old boy going double bird to the Texas bus. So I hope I didn't actually put those up, did I? I got close, right?
Oh my goodness, that's the Red River rivalry for you. Explains it perfectly. Now, here's a look at the game matchup by the numbers. The Sooners have maybe the best offense in the country, #1 in total offense and #2 in scoring offense. Longhorns good on offense, but not up there with OU, averaging 11.6 less points a game than the Sooners. The Oklahoma defense significantly better than the Texas D statistically. Turnover margin, though, does go to the Longhorns. But looking at the stats, you can tell why OU is favored by 10 points in the game.
It is unusual in this series to be able to avenge a loss just a few months later, but that was exactly the case in 2018. The Sooners won over the Longhorns in the Big 12 title game after that loss during the regular season. But since OU lost that regular season meeting, they are technically seeking to bounce back from that game at the Cotton Bowl. It was another game where the defense struggled and the offense did for a while too, before a furious fourth quarter comeback. OU came back to tie the game before Texas won on a Cameron Dicker field goal. But as we always hear from the players and coaches this time of year, the past is the past.
It's been played in my head a bunch. Just seeing those guys cheer on that field with that hat in their hands, I vividly remember exactly how I felt. And I think this team this year is different from the team last year. I think it's a different approach. I think it's a different mindset, and so I'm excited to go out there and dominate on Saturday.
Texas obviously presents the biggest challenge for the Sooners' new-look defense so far this season. OU's numbers have been impressive under new defensive coordinator Alex Grinch. Last year, OU was 101st in scoring defense. This year, they're 26th. Big improvement. For the first time since 2006, OU's allowed 20 or fewer points in 4 straight games in the same season. And opponents are converting on third down about 25% of the time. All big improvements from a year ago. But this weekend, they will be tested.
This could really be a statement. I mean, that's what we're coming in. We're coming to handle our business. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna let the results at the end of the game dictate everything else. So, but yeah, we're really fired up to play this Texas team.
The respect factor is through the roof. The film speaks for itself, and there's no sugarcoating it from the standpoint of trying to temper down in terms of who they are, what they are. They're just a major challenge.
Every time OU and Texas play each other, it's a major topic of conversation. The horns down gesture. The Big 12 clarified that if a player does it, he could get a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, or maybe not. Depends on how it's done. Lincoln Riley, though, does not seem worried about it.
Our players won't do it. So our players won't do it.
The horns down symbol is a long-standing Texas taunt, but before last year's Big 12 title game between the two schools, the Big 12 clarified it could be a penalty, of course. So it's a judgment call. So the Sooners didn't do it in that game until they won. Too late to call a penalty. The players know it's the same game plan for today.
None of that's our focus because we know at the end of the day, doing stuff like that is going to hurt us as a team. So at the end of the day, the only thing that matters to us is winning this ball game. If that's going to hurt us as a team, then that's not going to be done.
This great rivalry has really lived up to the hype so many times over the past decade. A lot of great games, nail-biters. Fox 23's Luke Slabaugh joins us now from the Fox 23 studios to break down the recent history of OU Texas.
Ron, thank you. The last 10 games in the Red River rivalry have been close. At the Cotton Bowl, OU has won 6, Texas 4. And each of these games since 2014 have been nail-biters, being decided by, get this, one possession. In 2009, the Sooners lost their quarterback on the second drive of the game. Heisman winner Sam Bradford hurt his shoulder after being sacked. It would be his last game for Oklahoma. Number 3 Texas beat number 20 OU 16-13. The Sooners would get revenge in 2010. Future Pro Bowler DeMarco Murray rushed for a pair of scores in a 28-20 OU victory. OU blew out the Longhorns in the next 2 meetings. In 2011, behind 3 defensive touchdowns, winning 55-17. And in 2012, behind quarterback Blake Bell's 4 belldozer touchdown runs, 63-21. However, 2013 was cruel to Bell. He threw a first-quarter pick-6, which set the tone for a 36-20 Longhorn win. Texas coach Mack Brown finished the rivalry 7-9. In 2014, a fourth-quarter touchdown run by true freshman Samaje Perine made the difference. Oklahoma winning 31-26. In 2015, Austin, Texas native Baker Mayfield got a bitter taste of the rivalry. The quarterback sacked 6 times. Texas won 24-17. Mayfield lit up the Longhorn defense in 2016. 3 bombs to D.D. Westbrook. OU won 45-40. Head coach Bob Stoops finished the rivalry 11-7. In 2017, Mayfield with some fourth-quarter theatrics hit Mark Andrews for a 59-yard touchdown pass. The Sooners won 29-24 in head coach Lincoln Riley's first season leading the team. Last season, OU's defense fell apart, allowing freshman Cameron Dicker to hit a 40-yard field goal and give Texas the last-minute win, 48-45. Then a twist. OU and Texas met not at the Cotton Bowl, rather at AT&T Stadium in Arlington for the Big 12 championship. It was the first time they had met twice in the same season since 1903. Heisman winner Kyler Murray with more than 400 all-purpose yards, Oklahoma winning 39-27, punching its ticket to the college football playoff. Despite OU's recent run of success, the Sooners still have a losing record against the Longhorns. Texas owns the series, 62-47, with 5 ties.
Now, the OU-Texas game is the perfect spot to talk about the new OU defense. Tulsa World beat writer Eric Bailey for the Sooners here to join us, as you often do on our pregame shows. And it's a perfect time to talk about it because last year after this game, Mike Stoops was fired as defensive coordinator. In the offseason, they hired Alex Grinch. The defense looks a lot better now. Is it?
We're going to see. This will be the first test Alex Grinch and the defense have faced all season. I think a lot of people are wondering how they're going to attack Texas. I'm kind of curious, just like a lot of Oklahoma fans, what's going to happen on the field today.
Now, OU defense, that is the big thing people are wondering about, but also they're excited and revved up to look at this quarterback battle. Two guys that are in the Heisman hunt, and Sam Ehlinger for Texas, and of course Jalen Hurts for OU.
How much fun is this? I mean, Ehlinger and Hurts, both quarterbacks are very efficient, both take care of the football. They've only thrown 2 interceptions apiece this season. They both have run their offenses really well. I just think it's going to be the quarterback that doesn't make the mistake or make the critical mistake at a key part of the game that's really going to impact or affect what happens in the outcome.
And one of the things that makes this such a special game this year especially is because this is kind of a playoff battle. Both these teams think they can get to the playoffs. OU, in the 3-4 years they've made it out of the last 4, they have lost a Big 12 regular season game twice to Texans and still went on to get it. But could they do that this year, or do they need to win today?
I think both teams need to win out if they're going to make the college football playoff. For Oklahoma, they just don't have that marquee non-conference win that they've had in years past. I think you cannot stumble against Texas today, and even if you beat them in the Big 12 game, a championship game, I don't know if that gets them in. So I think they got to treat this game as a must-win situation for a college football playoff berth.
So the Sooners fans out there all wondering, this is a must-win to get to the playoffs. Is OU going to win?
I think they will. I think it's going to be a 45-34 game. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. But I just think Oklahoma, the way that they're playing and they're looking forward to this game, I just don't know if Texas can keep up with them offensively.
You know what's fun, Eric? We're out here at the State Fair of Texas. Did you get a corny dog or anything?
Not yet, but this is my favorite day of the year. I tell you, every year, every second weekend and second Saturday in October, it's great. I love it. Wouldn't be nowhere else.
I love it, and the crowd here is just starting to get packed. It's going to be shoulder to shoulder as the game gets closer to going to the Cotton Bowl there. Always like it when Eric Bailey comes and joins us. Make sure you pick up a Tulsa World tomorrow to see his big write-up on this OU Texas Red River Showdown game. It should be a good one right here on Fox 23 at 11 o'clock.
A live look at the State Fair of Texas. What a quarterback matchup we have today. You heard Nathan and Eric talk about it. Coming up next, the Sooners and Longhorns give their takes on the opposing QBs.
Welcome back. You're looking live inside the Cotton Bowl. Walking out of the famous tunnel each team will run out of before the game today. Same tunnel for each team, different times to run out, but always surrounded by OU fans because it's one of the Sooner areas of the stadium. It's one of the great traditions, Ron.
Yeah.
Very many great traditions of the OU-Texas rivalry. Of course, being here at the State Fair is another one that's a great tradition for this rivalry.
It really is, yeah. I mean, the smell of the food, all the fans milling about. You've got OU and Texas fans kind of interacting with each other. Some nice, some not so nice. This game, of course, we know is such a great rivalry game, but this year it is especially good. The Sooners and Longhorns both meeting as ranked teams for the second year in a row. Each has a big-time quarterback that's a Heisman Trophy candidate. And, of course, Texas junior Sam Ehlinger, he's having a career year this year, averaging 290 yards, 3.4 touchdowns through the air, 47 rushing yards per contest. Plus, he has 3 TDs on the ground this season. OU head coach Lincoln Riley has noticed the improvement in a quarterback who was already solid last season.
He's obviously benefited from, a ton of game experience. I mean, and all within one system there. I mean, he's a heck of a player. I've got a lot of respect for him, the way he plays the game. He's certainly the catalyst of that entire team. I mean, he's certainly what makes that group go.
He's really a good quarterback. He's very physical, and he can run the ball like he's a running back. So, he's not one-dimensional. He can run the ball, he can pass the ball, so we got to be prepared for that.
As good as Sam Ehlinger has been this season, Jalen Hurts has been even better. Ehlinger is in the top 10 in the Heisman race. Ehlinger and Jalen Hurts is in the top 2. What a performance so far by Jalen Hurts this season. Couldn't have gone much better for him. Listen to this stat. Hurts has a passing efficiency rating of at least 245 in each of his first 4 games. He's the only player since at least 1996 to reach that mark more than twice in a season. The Texas defense that didn't even have a sack last weekend hopes to get some pressure on Hurts today to slow him down.
We've got to do a good job of getting on the edge and making him feel uncomfortable. I don't want to say we have to sack him a bunch, but we do have to make him feel uncomfortable for us to have a chance in the back end.
Anytime you have a dual threat quarterback that can run like he does is always going to be a huge factor when coming to scheme-wise and planning stuff out. He gets the job done. Their offense is one of the best offenses that I've seen.
Another live look at the Texas State Fair. So many fans now outside the Cotton Bowl. We are approaching kickoff. What an unbelievable atmosphere here in Texas.
I don't think they've really played anybody like us.
Big talk from the Longhorns about the Sooners' lack of quality opponents so far this season. See if the Sooners agree coming up. Live look inside the Cotton Bowl right now. The Sooners warming up. The Red River Showdown starts in a little over an hour here at the Cotton Bowl. The State Fair of Texas, the atmosphere right now, just unbelievable. We pulled in here. There were maybe, 100 people on the entire fairgrounds early this morning.
We got here like 6:30 though.
Yeah, exactly. And now it's just packed with burnt orange and crimson, and everybody seems to be pretty civil toward each other.
Yeah, so far so good. Of course, as we get closer, coming up on an hour until kickoff, right there in the Cotton Bowl behind us, and we've got all the gondola and the Ferris wheel over there. It's just obviously a great sight here. Excited to be here, excited for it to be on Fox 23, the game for this second year in a row. Now this year it is a great match. Of course, OU is number 6, Texas is number 11. The Sooners undefeated, the Longhorns 4-1, and OU is beating its opponents easily this season by on average more than 34 points a contest. Very impressive, but according to the Longhorns, OU's opponents so far haven't been up to the Texas standard.
They have a really explosive offense, really good team overall. They're a really good team. I'm not going to take that away from them. But I don't think they've really played anybody like us. It's going to be interesting going into the game and see how they respond and see what type of team they really are. Not to, discredit any other team. Everybody's been pretty good. We played, but Texas is like they're the real deal. This is our really big first game, and we wouldn't want to have it any other way, and this is where we're going to figure everything out.
This is a matchup of two extremely successful young coaches. Of course, Lincoln Riley, 29-4 as head coach at OU with 2 playoff appearances. Texas is back among the nation's top teams under Tom Herman. Riley's 2-1 against Texas. Herman is 2-2 against OU. One of those wins coming when he was head coach at Houston. We all know how big this rivalry is, but these coaches have a lot of respect for each other and their programs.
His creativity offensively, his ability to stay so involved in the offense and yet tackle requirements of being a head coach of a premier program.
I got a lot of respect for him as a coach, the way his teams play, the way he's prepared them, and the way he's had success at different places. I think that always tells you a lot about a coach, so he's clearly done a really nice job.
How fun is the State Fair of Texas? We've got a gondola, we've got rides all over the place, great food. Excited to be here, but really excited for this game to kick off here in a little over an hour. Ron and I will give you our final thoughts on this matchup coming up. The Red River Showdown is getting close. The Sooners out on the field of the Cotton Bowl, getting ready to take on Texas in this matchup of the number 6 team versus the number 11 team. And so much on the line here, Ron, as we talked about earlier, number 6 versus number 11. And this really could be a make-or-break game for both these teams if they were going to make the college football playoffs, especially Texas already has a loss this season. But what are your final thoughts on going into this, what you're going to keep an eye on?
Well, I'm really going to keep an eye on the defense. Obviously, that was the Achilles heel last year, the year before, really just the last several seasons. The last 5 losses for the Sooners, they've given up 48, 45, 54, 38, and 45 points. Obviously, the last few years, with the offense the way it's been, that defense really just needed to be mediocre in order for them to win some of those games. They just need to make sure that they keep Sam Ehlinger in check. Obviously, the defense is performing much better this season than they did last. So looking forward to this game, looking forward to seeing what the defense does. 42-31 final.
That's your prediction.
OU.
Now, what I'm really looking forward to and excited to see is this quarterback battle. I mentioned earlier, both these guys are in the top 10 if you look at the Heisman odds to win it. Jalen Hurts actually number 2. So I'm really interested to see how they do against each other. It's really amazing the quarterback factory that OU has turned into. It always has been, ever since Bob Stoops took over in '99. But now it's really stepped up when you have the last 2 Heisman Trophy winners and you have, of course, the top picks in the NFL draft. Now Hurts is putting up numbers very similar to those. And Sam Ehlinger, it's kind of a little different there because he has put in his time. This is his third season, and he has really improved in his game. So I'm looking forward to this matchup between these two, and it could easily come down to whichever quarterback plays the best and doesn't turn the ball over. That could be a huge deciding factor in this one. And in the one area, when we looked at the game by the numbers, the matchup, the one area that Texas did beat OU was in turnover margin. They averaged one more a game than their opponent. So that's something that Texas could really use. You said 42-31 for your final score, correct?
Yeah.
I was going to say something a little bit higher, 52-35. I think Texas covers. And Longhorns are the underdog by 10 points. You think that sounds good for a line?
This is one of those years. Usually I come in with an idea of what's going to – this year – it's unpredictable. This series is unpredictable. I've been wrong many times, and who knows, I could be wrong again today.
Yeah, I definitely thought OU was going to win last year, and they went on to lose in the regular season. Hey, it's been great talking to you here and having our Countdown to Kickoff pregame show here at the State Fair of Texas. Don't forget, you can watch the game right here on Fox 23 at 11 o'clock, and then coming out of the game, Ron and I will be here live again from the State Fair of Texas to give you our post-game show. Enjoy the game!